Kobra, one of the most ridiculed and bashed Mortal Kombat characters in history. And there are two very big reasons why that's the case. Number one, Kobra was a Mortal Kombat character in an era where a lot of people didn't really play Mortal Kombat games or don't know much about the 3D era of Mortal Kombat. A lot of modern Mortal Kombat players came back around either because they were young at the time or they left the series and then came back around Mortal Kombat 9, and most people just never touched those 3D Midway/Netherrealm games, so they never played with Kobra. Then there's the other side that simply looks at him as nothing more than a Ken Masters ripoff from Street Fighter. And I don't think that he's really a Ken ripoff entirely. But I think for all the bashing that people do of Kobra, I don't think people really know just how awesome of a character Kobra was to play with in Mortal Kombat Deception specifically. I've done some playing with Kobra in Mortal Kombat Armageddon. He plays similarly, but he's also greatly toned down. This is kind of due to those games sort of like Armageddon got rid of one of the fighting styles and then just, I don't know, the gameplay in Mortal Kombat Armageddon with the air combat and everything, it's a little wonky. But to me, Mortal Kombat Deception Kobra is absolutely insane. He's so fun to play with. I had no idea that man had infinite combos that couldn't be blocked in Deception. Oh, I wish I knew that back then. But anyways, for as much as people don't really know just how crazy of a character Kobra was to play with in Deception, they also don't know anything about Kobra's backstory being a member of the Black Dragon clan. And he's a lesser known member of the Black Dragon at that. Most people are only familiar with Kano and Cabal, which is why I wanted to take on this task of doing a redesign for Kobra so much. And since a lot of my redesigns have been in the vein of drawing characters who are missing from Mortal Kombat 1, I felt like it would be fascinating to draw a Black Dragon character, considering that outside of a faint mention of a possible Titan Kano, I haven't really seen so far any notion of the Black Dragon being in Mortal Kombat 1. So we're gonna see right now what an actual Kobra would look like. Not an actual Kobra, but what the character Kobra would look like in a modern day Netherrealm Mortal Kombat game. So let's go. Alright, right off the bat, just for full disclosure, I'm not leaning away from the Kobra looking like Ken from Street Fighter thing. That I'm not abandoning that whatsoever. If I would have did this probably like a good 3 or 4 years ago, I probably would have drew Kobra and I would have wanted to give him a crazy new hairstyle and make him look radically different. But having seen the Snowblind Mortal Kombat animation and seeing how the Kobra looked in that cartoon, yeah, I'm against him looking like radically different from how he looked in the old Mortal Kombat games. So that being said, while I am going to try to make him still look like Ken from Street Fighter, I don't want his outfit to look anything remotely like Ken. And the best way to do that is kind of to avoid his Mortal Kombat Deception look as much as possible. Specifically, the actual sort of warm-up suit that he's wearing. If I can stay away from that a little bit, I feel like he would look at least slightly less like Ken. Also, I do feel like that as far as the clothes Kobra's wearing, the Snowblind animation sort of had the right idea, trying to make him look more like a member of the Black Dragon clan. But I just felt like he's way too generic in that movie. Like they could have added something flashy to his character. But I get it, it's a movie, he's a side character. But considering I'm designing him to be somebody that a player playing a game would actually want to play, I'm going to try to take almost like a Black Dragon look or somewhat of that plain look that he had in Snowblind the animation and sort of insert a part of that look from Mortal Kombat Deception into it. So that was the reason off the bat why I gave him somewhat of a fighting pose, and I also gave him a base of a hairstyle that looked similar to Ken from Street Fighter off jump, just so I could know what it would look like once I start fleshing out the rest of the design. Now I also gave him a hoodie just because I thought Kobra's alternate design with the hood up in Mortal Kombat Deception was sweet, so I made it a point to give him that immediately. And I just added random tears and belt loops to his design, almost just to make it look like he's wearing some sort of beat up jacket. I wanted Kobra to look slightly more rugged in this. In his Mortal Kombat Deception design, he looked like a martial artist, which cool design, but it doesn't look like he should be a member of the Black Dragon clan or any clan that's not really doing some type of hand-to-hand combat whatsoever. His design is sort of out of place. It's honestly amazing how many parallels to me doing this design that I have to drawing the Warong design that I did a few weeks ago for trying to do a Tekken 8 alternate, though I felt like this one came out a lot better. So after I got the base of his design sort of ironed out, and I sort of touched it up after I did the line art phase, adding a few random scars here and there just for no reason. Like I said, I wanted him to look more rugged, so I'm just randomly adding stuff that I think is going to look cool. Then it was on to the coloring phase, and for once I actually had an idea of what I wanted his color scheme to look like ahead of time. Also, by the way, I'd like to remind you guys, if you're enjoying the video so far, to go ahead and like and subscribe. It'd be greatly appreciated. Now getting back to the video, I wanted Kobra, obviously if he looks like Ken, he's gonna have blonde hair. But I also wanted him to sort of keep that black, white, and yellow color scheme from Mortal Kombat Deception. And I knew I was gonna somehow give him some type of white and yellow stripe down the side of his pants, sort of just like his alternate is in Mortal Kombat Deception. But I was gonna add black to that stripe because I initially was gonna give him some greenish looking pants, just so he looked a lot closer to Cabal and Kano's designs for Mortal Kombat 11. I just didn't really know how that stripe was gonna look until I got to it. And I also was gonna add a patch to his pants because the random sort of designs and logos and sort of patches that he has on his Mortal Kombat Deception look, I wanted to take those and sort of put them on his pants rather than leave them on his jacket. So I went ahead, started coloring out the design, and even in the initial coloring phase, it was already coming out exactly as intended for me. Then after that was finished, I went ahead and started on the patch on his pants. Then I got really adventurous after a while and went, oh, what the hell, I'm just gonna go ahead and give him the actual Black Dragon tattoo on one of his arms. This was definitely a spur of the moment type of thing because of the way I have his hands posed like he's getting ready to fight. You can't really see the full tattoo, but it is added and it's there. And already just in the coloring phase, I was ecstatic on how Kobra had already turned out. So then adding in the shadows, it started to come together a lot more, as it should. Sort of adding the shadows to his clothing and his skin sort of helped the character pop a little bit, but also doing the shadows on the little metallic knee pads that he has. Why he has metallic knee pads, I have no idea. Once again, just looks cool to me, so I did it. Ken from Street Fighter, Black Dragon Clan, martial arts, look cool, that's it. There's enough of the character there, but I sort of wanted an outrageous design that would fit, yet somehow still look completely unlike any other Mortal Kombat 1 design. So the key was gonna really be to make the design look interestingly simple, if that's even a thing. And I felt like that started coming together after I did the shadow phase for the design. And in the end, I touched it up with the highlights and that just brought the rest of the picture together. So then I got this finished product, a redesign for Kobra. Not gonna lie, this design was solely for my own amusement. So in all the redesigns I've recently been doing and the fact that I seriously doubt we will ever see Kobra again in a Mortal Kombat game, I hope I'm wrong in this, but I seriously have my doubts at this point. It made me do this. So I really love your guys' feedback. Let me know in the comments below whether or not you actually like this design or whether or not it seems like it actually fits Kobra at all. Better yet, a question I really want answered is how many of you guys actually played with Kobra in Mortal Kombat Deception, if anyone? Very curious to know that. But anyways, that's the painting. You all have a good one, and I'm out.